Hello YouTube. Rem and Seifer are both getting some juice. Rem getting an LD and Seifer getting a 90. Both of them getting 90 actually, and I'm here to talk about them. This is a good banner, but before you pull on Rem and Seifer LD, I'll give you some things to think about for you potentially use your limited resources. If you're new to the channel, I play both JP and Global, and I use some of that experience and knowledge, etc. to kind of tell y'all what's up and give you some opinions on what to potentially do. Go down in the comment section, let me know what you're gonna do for this event, this banner. And while you're there, like the video, subscribe, consider checking out my weekly stream, the Ranting Hour. Fun stuff. We talk about a lot of things. Alright, we're gonna get Seifer out the way first. It's pretty hilariously straightforward. He is a damage dealer. His rework is really upping his damage. He's a debuffer. He prevents the enemy from doing brave damage on a one-turn debuff, and he also debuffs defense and max brave and attack, and he is a delayer on every button that he presses. His rework, he does more damage on everything, and he gets a free skill after LD. You can use this on his C, his additional ability to get more brave damage caps and boosts, etc. Pretty straightforward, not worth talking about the numbers there. It's more damage, it's good damage. C90, his ZX, more damage, and he gets more defense down on his additional ability. All nice stuff, pretty straightforward. So let's just go straight into what he does. Great damage. He's got delays everywhere just because of the way his kit works. He drops the LD debuff, and every time he's got the buff up as well. Every target he hits will get delayed. He's got solid debuffs, again, preventing the enemy from doing brave damage, provided the buff is up. It's only one turn, but he's got a great sword ultimate weapon, which is very flexible, and his calls are also delays. So he's got good juice all around, provided you've invested in him outside of calls, that is. Weaknesses, delay immunity, just kind of neuters him completely, but that's pretty obvious for a delay character. And if he's not high invested, he's not going to feel great in the party, so he's just going to be a call. But yeah, Seifer is so hilariously straightforward, I could not think of what to say about him. You've probably seen the Seifer intersecting will solos that are probably going to be cropping up soon in GL, so be prepared for that. Teams, no boss turn teams, he could just flourish in those because he's always delaying, buff his damage because he's got a bunch of split attacks, so get him some HP damage up, but the ultimate weapon can satisfy that, and you're good. Pretty straightforward. Future fights, the Thancred LD fight, because he has a sap effect, brave poison, whatever, on his LD debuff. Seymour's intersecting will, because he'll be able to hit the 2-turn delay that is required for that orb, and he can solo Irvine's intersecting will. Am I jumping between intertwine and intersecting again? Jesus, I can't stop doing that. But yeah, he'll hit the range requirement there too. Now we're going to talk about Rem and her LD. Rem is, they gave her a lot. I think this is one of the best characters. She's always a fun character to play, really. But let's talk about what she does. If you're not familiar with her kit, she is a support character. She provides party turn manipulation with her skill 2. It is literally just swap turns. She has heals, HP regen, and burst heals, and her EX heals too, and she provides party battery. Let's get right into it. Her rework, she heals better. It's instant and free, so she can do whatever afterwards. She does party battery on her skill 1 now too, and the buff itself has more HP regen, so it was like a pitiful 5% before, but now it is 10%. Much better. Her skill 2, previously, when Rem swapped turns with a target, she did not influence their EX at all. So she had the issue of potentially messing up people's EX recast, but now she solves that. She just gives them some recast up when she swaps. The HP plus gets a brave gain before you do it, so it feels a little bit better to hit, although I don't think you're pressing that much anymore. And it's unconditional, so before you had to swap turns to get her HP plus going, but now you don't. Her C90, her additional ability gives her 10% brave gains up. This is going to be relevant in a bit, but she does get skill 1 buff starts. She doesn't need to press that when you start off the fight, and the actual EX attack is a 2x full AoE. Good output there. Now, the LD. First off, the attack is a party battery, 4 split HP attacks, and it gives the entire party a free skill use afterwards. So Onion Knight and Rem, I think, are the only people who do that for the party. No, it's not true. Luna Freya gives pre-party skills too, but that's right on the line. Don't worry about it. And she gets a new buff attached to it, right? This buff gives party HP damage up and brave gains up 20%. So this plays into her additional ability, which you can't have permanent 100% uptime on, but that's 30% brave gains in Rem. Pretty good. Every time Rem does a follow-up, every time Rem presses anything, and this does not include calls, but it does include her additional ability, she will do a follow-up attack. So let's talk about the follow-up. It's a self-brave gain into a double split AoE, party battery, and whoever's next in the turn order gets a 1-turn buff. This buff gives brave damage 50%, HP damage 20%. It's a 30% M brave force. So their current bravery will not drop below 30% of their M brave, which is a very decent not even decent. This is a very good damage increase. It does decrease in BT phase, however, so if you turn swap to someone who is about to go into BT phase, they will drop it on the first turn. So maybe for a BT finisher it'd be good, but for a BT phase it won't be. But this plays nicely into her turn swapping, because whoever she swaps turns with is going to get this buff, so you could really abuse this like crazy. Her high armor plus, I gotta call this out, is a 20% HP cap up. You notice this. This is the juice right here. This is good. You really want to blue Rem, you notice it. As for her calls, her LD call is actually really good. It gives the party attack, overflow, brave gain, and HP damage up. 20% I believe on the brave gains. Yeah, 20s across the board. 20 attack, overflows, HP damage, and brave gain. That's a nutty LD call, and great for burst phases. Her skills both do the follow-up because she has LD buff start, but it does not give the 1-turn buff afterwards, probably because of some technicality with how it's worded. That is unfortunate that it doesn't give that, but her LD calls will be even more broken. But that LD call, it's good stuff. And again, she'll do so her base call is cure, and she will do the follow-up, so both of them do damage now. So yeah, decent stuff there. Her strength, she's the best turn manipulator, I believe. I can't think of anyone that turn manipulates better. Afmaus is limited and she has all the other shenanigans going on, but Rem, she's the OG turn manipulator. She does it well. Amazing buffs and utility. She gives that 20% HP cap up to the party, which is very noticeable at the BT level. And let me just point out, because between her LD buff that she has just the entire time and the one she gives out, that is like 40% HP damage up for whoever she turn swaps to and gets the 1-turn buff. That's great. She can do all this low investment. Obviously, you'll notice the HP cap, but you don't need ultimate weapon to make Rem work. She can just do her turn swapping and buff people like crazy, and she's a great LD call. Weaknesses, high turn rate. She has high turn rate on her moves, on her turn swap and her EX, I believe, and that can be a double-edged sword if you don't want her jumping around. But thankfully, she's at least turn efficient because her turn swaps are free, but just something to think about. She's as strong as whoever she is swapping to. So if you're not swapping to anything good, then like there's not really a point. The point of Rem is to give other people turns, and buff management, you need to pay attention to 1-turn buff, but it's kind of a reach. This isn't really a weakness, being completely honest, but it's just something to think about. For teams, people who do big on-turn damage, so people who delay themselves, like Sync, Machina and Rem, obviously being the canon pairing, they pair so well together. Rem gives Machina the brave gains and the brave floor and the HP damage up and all that good stuff, so he'll cap like crazy. It's kind of crazy. And a Crow who delays herself. Reigns, new partner for Reigns, by the way. You know, friendship ended with Afmau. Rem is my new best friend for Reigns now. Rem's Mao. Okay, I'm sorry for saying that. Strago. Just a bunch of big damage dealers who can do their thing really quickly. She'll drag them back, and then you can just keep abusing that. It's pretty great. Future fights where she'll be handy. Divine Bahamut, because she can probably hit the consecutive turn thing, just because her skill 1 is instant, and then you can just throw it to someone else. Seifer's event, because you need follow-ups for that. 6 warrior quest in general, just because he has that handy turn manipulation utility. The orb on the fight, this fight's a joke. It's a lethal orb, you know, hooray! But it's turn manipulation plus 10, it's from max of 10, and the orb is only on Rem, so it's mannequins. It's a Rem mannequin, Vivi mannequin, and warrior light mannequin. Because they are mannequins, they have no reductions. They have 9 million HP, 9 million HP each. You know what had similar HP? Queen's Lost Chapter. Remember how easily we dusted that fight? This fight has 1 million HP across 3 million HP, 3 more million HP total. And we've gotten way much better power creep at this point. So this fight actually ends up ending in like seconds. They have threshold attacks. They don't cleanse though, so you can put up a shield or you can like throw a brave freeze on them, and then you're fine. It doesn't matter. This fight really does die if you sneeze. It's a complete joke. This is a beat 'em up stage. Useful units, just use a freeze or a shield call and you're good. You won't take anything lethal. Just burn Rem down and it'll be fine. You don't even need to turn swap, to be honest. Rem could die in a BT phase. Twins are Garnet friend. That's a huge damage increase. Reigns, if you're actually playing around the orb, Reigns, Afmau, Ignis, Layla for non-synergy. Summon in BT phase, fight's over. I mean, so what are my plans? Pull. I think Rem is fantastic, teetering on broken. She's got an insane amount of utility. Like, everything she does is so good. The 20% HP cap. Oh, yes, Lord, yes. I want that costume. I want everything. Rem is a great unit. I already have Seifer, but even if I didn't have Seifer, I'd be pulling strictly for Rem. Anyways, I'm gonna blue her. Not gonna ultimate weapon because I don't need to. But I'm not gonna leave Seifer alone. I'm not gonna blue him. He's fun. He does a lot of damage and he does good stuff. But I mean, ultimately, not gonna run him that much. He's probably gonna stay call slot for me, but I might run him or something. I don't know. So before you pull on this banner, what do I think from a meta perspective? I think Rem is one of the best units we're going to get for a bit. She ages very well. She works well with a lot of good units. Machina, if you've been running Machina, any of big damage units, she'll pair with Null to spam his ZX, and anyone who has big damage buttons. Rem fits in damn near every team, and now with that follow-up, she's pumping out good damage of her own. I recommend everybody grab Rem in some capacity because she's just that damn good. As for Seifer, I wouldn't recommend chasing him. Maybe if you have some tickets to spare for maybe a delay call, but he's got the solos going for him, but he's just I don't think he stands out that much, and when content gets hard, I don't think Seifer's one of those people you turn to. So yeah, I recommend everyone grab Rem. Rem is amazing. She's definitely worth the resources. Seifer, decent consolation. I wouldn't recommend anyone gun for him, especially don't gun for him if you're not going to invest him in all the way. But yeah, that's all I got. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, what you're doing for the banner, the fight, etc. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one. Peace.